Alright, so last time we left off, your hoods had just been lifted from underneath your hoods had just been lifted, and you guys were in. Shoot. There it goes. You guys were in this room here. It was like the banquet hall. It had, like 4 entrances and exits at like the corners. There was a lot of goblins. You could see it kind of had like almost like stadium seating out and around the area that you don't see kind of. Let me see. Around the edges. You see a you saw the guy in armor, and I showed you what he looked like last time. You knew him to be Hobgoblin, and he had some like, important-looking goblins up on like the banquet area. And so as you all are walked in, you guys notice that it kind of gets quiet, and your hoods are you're lifted off, and you see everything, and you're standing there in the back, somewhere. Standing there in the back, like down towards the bottom part of the area, and as your heads are lifted off, the Hobgoblin is like, "I see our guests have arrived," and then like all the goblins like, "Woo, yeah, woo," like cheer and stuff. So they seem to be like very excited, and he welcomes you all to take a spot over here at this table. How did my... Oh, oops. Over here at this table. And so the goblins that had led you in, like, lead you over to that table, and there's like, just like food and stuff. It's like pretty good food. Not what you would expect. It's not like nasty, raw dog meat and guts and stuff, but actually good food. And the guy that sits you down says, the king will address you when he is ready. And when you all get seated, the king's like tells the group to, as they were, and everybody keeps kind of like going back to themselves and their little goblin ways eating, their food and stuff. So, you guys have like questions about what you see and what you're doing, and I'm not gonna put your stuff on the board unless like somebody plans to like get up and move around. And if you feel free.
Is there anyone else sitting at the table that we're at?
Nope. And the food was on your table, was not touched.
So getting like a read of the room, I mean, do we look like we're getting like sneered at? Or are they like, oh, these guys might be okay, or I don't know.
No, they're not sneering at you, but like a lot of guys are like looking at you all and pointing at you. Let's see. Ramus and Lorcan, you guys can kind of see, you guys notice that there's like one goblin kind of over in the back, like, pointing at people and like taking, little copper pieces from other people, and people are like, like pointing at that one and giving him like a couple copper pieces.
Taking bets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good feast. You guys digging in, or sitting there anxiously, or?
I'm eating the food.
I will certainly. Actually, I'm gonna grab a little bit of food. I'm gonna kind of wander off near whoever's taking bets, and trying to catch wind of like what the trials might be. in case they say something about the trial.
So on your way over there, you hear on your way over there, you probably overhear like 10 conversations, and you hear like 10 different stories of like, all the way from like chess boxing, which they're like, what is chess boxing? We don't know what that is, to like who can stand in lava the longest. You know, so they're like speculating. They're like, no, I heard it was this. No, I heard it was this, and you know, so that kind of
Gotcha.
stuff. So yeah, you get up and walk around, and no one seems to be like, hey, you need to stay in place, or you know.
Okay. When whatever food I have, I'll go back and sit down and eat some more food.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything interesting? Okay.
I'm gonna like maybe pocket some extra food, you know?
Okay.
Steal a couple dinner rolls or something.
All right. You're able to pocket, you know, a pretty decent amount.
Cool.
Okay. So probably after like 15 minutes or something, you know, the crowd's still like going and they're all still there, and they've kind of like, you can tell that most of them have finished eating because they had started eating before you'd gotten there. But now they're into like drinking, and you know, some people are getting rowdy. But the king comes over to your table, and he's like,
I'm gonna flatter him by bowing to him when he comes.
okay. He does a very you know, like disciplined, you know, like, I don't know what you, not like a, what do you call, like a male bow, what's the sophisticated reply to like a courtesy or whatever?
Huh?
Yeah, I would think bow.
Yeah.
Man,
His head, depending on how high he thinks he's above you, too. You know, it doesn't even.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a Japanese, like, I'm on the floor, you know, kind of thing. But he's definitely, like, he's respectful, and, you know, and he's, like, you can tell that he is very, you know, like, system-oriented and, you know, obeys kind of the, you know, the chivalry structure and stuff. And he's like, my name is King Prog. P-R-O-G.
Nice.
He doesn't say that, but Prague. And my goblins have told me that they told me that they witnessed the Goblin King in your presence.
Should I explain that?
I'll say
I'd let him
something.
keep talking.
I'll be like, Your Majesty, we were taking residency in the granary above your kingdom, and a ghoul that was in your possession had met his demise mistakenly at our hands, and we brought a replacement to fulfill that role, one better than the ghoul that you previously sought. As we were speaking with your subjects, we were visited by some kind of presence that I have not been able to quantify just yet, but he did address himself as the god of goblins, or goblin god, or something to that nature. I can't exactly recall. I was a little bewildered at the time.
Okay. So you're definitely like sweet talking him, but honestly answer, would your character like 100% know that was Peridot?
I mean, I'm not stupid,
Right.
and we talked about it afterwards, so I'm full on not being truthful at all, but I'm trying to
All right, let's see.
be as smooth about it as possible without straight up being like, yes, we were visited by the goblin god who says that we were his chosen, and things like that.
Okay, so he says while I only believe inactions and what I can see with my own eyes, but I will take your word for it. For I'm a hobgoblin of my word. And words are, carry power for me. So he says, my goblins also promised you trials to gain friendship with the goblins. Did they not?
If that is the way of your people, that we must go through some trial to be able to prove our worthiness to your majesty, then we are, of course, willing to face such a thing. But we believe that that friendship is something that is important and should be earned fairly.
While the let's see. While the goblins themselves are not very rigid in structure, they do have a few institutions, and the goblin trials are one of them to gain acceptance into a new clan of goblins. So that is something that I, as the leader of these goblins, will maintain for the sake of their community.
Completely understandable.
So, I will keep with you the trials that were given to you. Although only 3 of them will be performed here. The dog eating competition, the riding of Squiggly Nor, and the wolf riding rat roundup.
Yeah.
Those will happen tomorrow, as I am also justly and fair in these events, so you must have at least a full night's rest. Although I do promise upon my word that you will not be harmed tonight, be it that you are not of the goblins. You will have to stay in a secure place for the night, but you have my word.
Please don't take this. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I didn't expect such grandeur and magnanimity. I don't think the tales have told how cool you guys have it down here.
The goblins have great drive and determination. It just needs the discipline. It just needs a disciplined leader to spur it in the right direction.
Color me impressed.
Like you were the focus they need.
I do believe so, yes.
Now, beg your pardon, Your Majesty, but you did say something about that 3 of the trials would occur here. And does that imply that there are more than 3 trials and that they would take place elsewhere?
There is the last one, if you do recall, but that will be explained to you tomorrow.
All right.
I mean, you would remember that it was the bring them a suitable body.
Okay. And am I to assume that we will be given comfortable accommodations here for the evening, or are we to return home and come back tomorrow?
You'll be given comfortable accommodations here. Okay.
If it is not too much trouble, I would prefer that the accommodations that we are given, that we should be able to remain together. And I'll tap Tiny on the shoulder and I'll say, Tiny here, and I have not been separated for quite some time, and I fear that he may not be able to sleep soundly at night if I am not at his side.
Yes, that will be no problem. Okay. Please enjoy yourselves, and when you are ready, let this goblin know, and he will show you to your nightly quarters.
Cool.
Thank you for honoring us with your presence, Your Majesty.
Thank you. And he goes back up here and talks with his other people.
I'm totally getting seconds.
Yeah, no, it's like good food, well prepared. So there's alcohol. So if you guys want to get drunk, you can.
No thanks.
Okay.
Tipsy.
Everybody can roll perception checks if they want. Okay. So is that everybody that wants to? Or there we go. All right. Okay, so only Eula would notice that there is a goblin, sitting on the other side. We'll say here, who's actually wearing like a leather vest, and he's kind of like glaring at you all, and kind of like sizing you up.
Gotcha.
JJ, looking around at the feasting hall, do I happen to notice the goblin that came out before that was like really impressed with our ghoul and things like that?
No, probably not. I mean, I don't think that the one. I don't think that one. No, he would not be here.
Okay. Well then, other than approaching the king himself, I'm going to look for somebody who looks like he might be in some kind of position of authority that looks like they might be okay to approach.
Okay. Standing over, standing, down here at one of the edge of the tables, there's a goblin who is, who has kind of like he has like a hooked sword on his belt, and has like, also has kind of like a vest on, and it's like flirting with like the ladies.
Okay. I will approach him then.
Okay.
But I'll try to not disrupt. Like I will walk over and I will lean against the table, very much looking like I'm wanting to get his attention, but without trying to interrupt him.
Okay.
Like waiting my turn kind of thing.
All right. After about 10-15 seconds, he notices that you're like standing there, kind of like waiting. He's like, in his goblin voice, but you can tell he's like way more charismatic than the other goblins. He's like, and you, my champion, what brings you over here to this side of the room?
Well, forgive my interruption. After speaking with your ruler, it has come to my attention that we will be provided accommodations for the night, which means obviously that we will be here for quite some time. I'm concerned about the ghoul that I brought in for your kind that was left in the cave. He is under my training currently, but he is still a bit of a loose cannon, and I fear that if we do not return soon, that he could cause trouble for your kind. So I was hoping that I either could get an idea of how far away we might be from him, though, so that we might be able to go visit with him before the trials and make sure that he understands to keep his appetite in check. And I wanted to make sure that you guys were going to be bringing him food. He was quite famished when we left.
Oh, do not worry. The goblin will be taken, quite good care of. He is a very important asset to the goblins.
Well, Well, Jay, just in case you're forgetting, as the GM, I did tell him, the goblin, that if we weren't back by the next day, to start slaughtering
Ghoul. Yeah.
So, so that's more of my concern, is that I'm trying
Right.
to be able to get to where I can talk to him, or at least absolve us of responsibility if he decides to go on a killing spree.
Yeah, no, he, so you can actively tell that he purposely does not give information. He noticed that you asked, like, how far you were and how you could go back, and he, like, you know, pretty much, you know, you could tell that he was actively not answering those, and was only telling you, you know, hey, don't worry about the goblin. The goblin's good.
The ghoul.
The ghoul, shit. The ghoul's good. Don't worry about him.
Okay. So then I'll just clarify. I'll just I'll be like, okay, well, I didn't want anybody to get hurt. I know that if I'm apart from that ghoul for too long, since he's just now beginning his training, I'm sure an intelligent goblin such as yourself would understand that ghouls are difficult to actually to get under your thumb and to follow your lead. So just wanted to make sure that if anybody got hurt, that you all understood the risks.
No problem. The goblin bosses here are some of the best.
Very well. And carry on. I wish you much joy this evening, and I look forward to your perceiving of our amazing talents and during the trials tomorrow.
I wish you the best of luck. Okay, so he looks. I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to make a thing for him. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 minute while I upload him.
To cover time, if it's cool, I might just like wander up and blow up Martin's spot while he's there. Like as the conversation's ending, be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" So it's all, you know, real good and awkward.
Okay. You can tell that all the goblin girls are like totally in love with this goblin.
I don't see why.
And, you know, they're like total fan goblins. And oh shit, there it is. So he looks like that.
Nice.
Comic.
Yeah, so have you guys read that comic?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So yeah, he's blowing up all the ladies over here.
Hey. Perseus.
So I'll return back to our table then, and I will tell them all that these goblins are clearly not what the tales of the city have led them to be.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Cool.
JJ, during the rest of the dinner and just the rest of the stuff that's going on before we leave, I do want to take a couple specific glances at that one goblin in the leather jerkin or whatever.
Okay.
I just want to like try to remember his face.
Okay.
If I see him during the trials, I'll be able to pick him out more easily during the trials if I spot him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when you're like kind of like glancing around, trying to specifically look for that guy in the jerkin, you see like a couple, like you see like 2 or 3 other kind of guys that all kind of look the same, and they have that kind of that same vest on.
Okay, but they're not like giving us the weird looks though? Are they just that's just the one?
No, but you can tell that a lot of the ones that have like the jerkins on are there's like people around them, and you know that there's definitely a focus on these kind of people, like the people that have that specific vest on.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Dudes, if we're going to be taken seriously as a gang, we need to get some rad vests.
Dang it, Gary.
Yeah, you guys do need some red vests.
Seriously.
Okay, so yeah, the night starts winding up. Actually, you know, the goblins get drunker and a lot of fights break out. A lot of stuff gets broken. You can tell that the king up there doesn't really. He doesn't seem to stop it. He is, you know, very. I guess it's like, you know, kind of like their culture. He's like allowing certain things, and this is more like kind of like the drunken brawls. I guess he's allowing.
So, is this like goblin alcohol we're drinking, or are they like getting this from somewhere?
I mean, it is. It's. I mean, it's goblin alcohol. But it's, you know, it's not like super awesome alcohol, but it's not like bad. It's not like,
Not rock gut.
Yeah, it's not rock gut. So
Yeah.
that's also another kind of surprise.
The reason I was asking was if they were stealing it, it'd be interesting to know where they were stealing it from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you could really. Do you have like any specific reason that you would be knowledgeable in like tasting of alcohols?
No, not really. But if there was like a barrel with like, I don't know, Steve's beer place
Okay.
on the side of it, you know what I mean?
No, it's kind of like you can tell that the casts are like, you know, they're like unsigned and you know, unmarketed. So
Alright.
probably homebrewed.
Cool.
They say a goblin feast without at least 3 deaths is a dull affair.
Yep, so there probably will end up, you know, a couple goblin deaths tonight. So yeah, does anybody else want to do anything? You know, ask questions, look around, or go to bed?
Shown to wherever we're staying for the night.
So say that again.
When we get shown to where we're staying for the night, I do, but not until then.
Okay. So he did say whenever you all were ready. So he, you know, he's not going to show you all, so you guys can stay till, you know, 4 in the morning. You know, get yourselves in goblin fights and.
I'm fucking tired. You said it was like 3 in the morning, so like we've been up like in 3 hours. We'll have been up 24 hours. I'm just like, let's crash, guys.
Okay.
So do we know where we're supposed to go to sleep, or is somebody going to show us?
We were told to let a certain goblin know when we were ready.
Okay, cool. Is that goblin wearing a leather jerkin?
He is not.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I hear you, Lorcan. I imagine it's probably a good idea for us to get a good night's sleep before these trials.
Okay. So you guys go ahead and, you know, tell the goblin that, you know, ready to go to bed and stuff. He's like, very well, follow me. And so he leads you out one of the exits, and you follow down a hallway. He has, you know, also, this is all lit by torches. It's just so everybody knows. But the hallway that you are walking down is not lit by torches very much. So it's pretty dark, but he is carrying a torch. And you see, like, you know, 3 lefts and a right, you know, tunnel. But you can't really see down them.
Because they're windy or because it's dark?
Oh, because it's dark. So, Martin, you'd be able to see, you know, 20, 30 feet into most of them, but most of them kind of about... Yeah. Okay. So
while he's leading us, I'll ask him. So, why do only some of you have leather vests?
He says, "Oh, those are the initiates. They are goblins who are trying to seek status. They will be who you are in competition against tomorrow."
Okay.
Says yes. They are the goblins who have very strangely called aspirations, and who want to weirdly make something of themselves. Me, I'm happy here, you know, leading people to their chambers at night. That's my job.
It's a slick gig.
How often would you say these trials are done? How many times have you seen them?
What's the goblin lifespan? He says I've seen them. They are at least once a year and special occasions, and this is special occasion.
Now, the structure of them, since you seem to be very well versed in the way these trials are taking place, is it going to be like, you know, I would take a chance to ride Squiggly Nor, and then one of the Goblin Initiates would ride, or would we all have to try to complete our trials before they try to complete theirs, or what's the structure of it?
Most of them usually are a free-for-all style, and if the task is to ride Squiggly Nor, which is most likely not, because they haven't had that one in a long time. But you guys do know that the king did say that he was going to honor them, but this goblin is clearly like, no, it's probably not going to happen. Just for clarification, he's like, most likely if that one were to happen, everybody would jump in the pit, and it would be as Toplanders say, king of mountain style.
Okay.
I am happy to answer other questions.
So, secret goblin plan, eh?
He says, as much as I do like talking about goblin heritage and goblin stuff, that is one that is most likely, or that is one that I cannot tell you. That would be a very painful death.
If we become friends of the clan, would we be counted in as part of the plan?
Probably.
That's super slick. So I'm really impressed by the level of organization you have here. Has the king like done this in a short time, or has he been around for a long time?
He says, should I call him Prague,
Prague, like the Rock.
P-R-A-G, yeah.
Like the Rock.
He says King Prague has been leading us only about 2 years now.
So what was Goblin Society like prior to that?
It was chaos. It was a lot of fun. This one we have to work a lot, but we do things like eat better and drink better, but we don't get to do fun goblin things like burning down stuff and lots of goblin fights. We get to fight sometimes, only on special occasions. Not as much as we like.
Whoa, you're saying that he doesn't let you burn things down when you want to?
No, he does not.
Well, that's not very fun.
I know, but it has its ups and downs. Also, he is very powerful, and if we say otherwise, he'd kill us.
Well, I could tell you that if I were a ruler of goblins, I'd let you burn anything down anytime you wanted.
If you are most powerful, you kill him. You become ruler of goblins.
Well, I don't know that I would go that far. He seems to be like a nice enough guy. I'm just saying, you know, if I happen to have ever been, you know, a goblin queen or something, then, you know, I'd let you guys burn stuff down all the time.
That would be much fun.
In fact, I was all in favor of you guys burning down the granary that we came from. That sounded like it'd be a blast. I even thought about helping you.
Okay, yeah. I did not know of this plan, but I'm just a lonely show 'em to their bedroom goblin.
Do not underestimate yourself showing to the bedroom goblin. You could be, maybe this time next week, you might be show them to the fighting pits goblin, or burn down the humans' houses goblin.
Right. That would be much fun. Okay, we are here. And you guys, so he leads you into kind of, so you were in like a cavey, earthy area. You get more into like a stone area. You kind of see like they become like more straight. There's actually walls and like a ceiling and stuff.
Like worked stone?
Yes, worked stone, and there is, you know, kind of like fixtures for torches, and the torches on the walls. this kind of, so I'm going to show you this, but it looks a little bit better than this. So don't like immediately be like, no, we're not sleeping here. Okay. So he brings you
like a prison. Let's get the fuck out of here.
So he brings you in here and he shows you, he like leads you all over to here, and he's like, so he does say one thing. He says, here is where we keep all the stuff that is most important to our goblin secret plan.
Well, that's convenient.
So now we're an important part of the secret plan?
I don't know. This is the only place for you to stay. So
I feel honored.
So he shows you over here, and you see like a bunch of like cockatrices.
Oh, wow.
You see like several in there, and they seem to be kind of like trained. And roll if you want to, and you feel like you would like to like look around and snoop around. You can roll an investigation.
Oh yeah. The moment he said this is where they keep this stuff with the goblin plan, I was like, oh, we're gonna sneak around, check this place out. Of course, we all suck.
Okay.
Did we lose?
So you guys see, you guys kind of see a bunch of like, kind of like bucket fixtures on the wall with like where they hang the food for the cockatrices above them, but not much else. Okay, and then he shows you over here. And he's like telling you over here, and it's like they have kind of like the bars kind of like closed in with glass, like the bars are like solid. And he shows you a bunch of like sand mephits, which I couldn't find a model for. Let's see, they are kind of like little like fairy creatures that are like flying around in there. And then he walks you over to here, and this is like the most like guarded. It has like extra thick like bars on it and stuff. And you see kind of a like a pillar, like a column, and on the pillar is kind of like an ornate thing, and it has like kind of like a zombie looking head, like a it's kind of like the skin's been rotted and stuff, and you can see some bone, but you see this like really long tongue that's kind of like draping off of the pedestal that it's on.
Gross.
All right, and then he shows you over to here, and he's like, and this is where you all will be sleeping. And there's like actually like some beds in there, like some laid out beds and stuff. He says, everybody in.
Okay.
Okay, and he says, I'm sorry, but under the orders, since you are not part of them, we must close you in here. There is some food and stores and stuff over here, and a bucket of clean water, and blankets. And if you need anything, just holler for the goblin guard, and he will get it for you.
You're very good at your job. Thank you for showing us to our quarter.
Thank you. And he like closes the door and like locks it. Have a good night.
Okay. So let's give him a little bit of time to walk away, and then we should probably discuss our approach for tomorrow before retiring.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about this free-for-all on Squiggly Nor.
Well, probably should have asked for clarification, but if it's a free-for-all, does that mean I can kill them? Because we could just kill them, then, you know, then you could just put your riding pad that you had made out of your loincloth over to Squiggly Nor and climb aboard, and bam, trial done.
The pad could certainly help if I happen to brush some of the other contenders with it. But I imagine there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving. You're right. It's important to know whether how far we're allowed to take things. But if it's down to pushing, I'm not going to be the strongest one to stay on there.
Goblins weak. I knocked them flat before.
So there's a dog eating contest, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So who's really good at eating dogs?
Oh, daggone it! I shouldn't have eaten anything. I could have. I'm actually saying this in character. I could have not eaten dinner, and man, I could have downed some dog.
It's not until tomorrow.
Yeah, what time tomorrow though? I had seconds.
Yeah, well, my delicate constitution doesn't really allow me to eat dog per se.
Oh no, dog's better than rat. I'll tell you that.
I also do not eat rat.
I mean, I could possibly do it. I didn't eat much for dinner because I'm a little hesitant at eating foreign foods. But, and Tiny and I here have eaten things far worse than dog. So, little dog doesn't scare me.
Eating cockatrice.
But Tiny is more likely to have a larger stomach because while he is tiny, he is not as tiny as us.
I mean, that
I'm
is
small.
John, I can barely hear you. Is everybody else really, John, very faint to them?
not really.
I can hear pretty well, I think.
Just then it was quiet, but I wasn't having trouble until just then.
I'm trying to put my headset on. Maybe that'll.
I don't know if this is it may not be important here, but by the way, JD, I cannot click on my token.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think there was much of a reason for you all to move around, so I just didn't really add all this stuff in.
Sure.
Like, there's not going to be, like, any battling or need for position or anything.
Okay, so, yeah, without knowing the details till tomorrow about the whole gathering of a suitable body and whatnot, I can't really say what we can't really plan much on that one, but, I mean, I like getting bodies, so.
I would still volunteer to do the rat roundup. I could probably do that, maybe.
Yeah, you are kind of a rat whisperer.
It's true. It's true.
And I bet with one of those illusions that you do, you could get all the rats to go to one place pretty easily.
That's my goal, and I've got a lot of extra little food in my pouch right now. Those rats might like some dinner rolls or something.
I don't know if we'll be allowed to try more than one trial, but if so, there's no reason that a few of us couldn't all get on Squiggly Nor and help each other out.
I figured whoever we think might be the best rider should be the one to try to jump up on him, and the rest of us can run interference to try to keep the others from getting in your way. I have never ridden anything in my life.
So I guess Joe, just for that, like
That is not accurate.
not trying to prevent you from this, but just so you don't go down that road. There's only one spot per trial open.
Okay.
So, like, what you're saying is that we would have to nominate one person from our party, and they'd have one from theirs, and those two would go after Squiggly Nor.
No, there is no. It's not so much a party. Like each event is going to have several goblins, and there has been one spot reserved for each of you. One spot reserved per trial for any one of you all.
Okay, so the four of us will not be in the pen with Squiggly Nor. One of us will.
Right.
Well, if nobody's trying to shove me off, I'd imagine that I'd have a pretty decent chance of staying on there. I mean, I've certainly had to run and jump across across things, getting away from guards and such. But I've never really ridden anything, and I don't even know what a Squiggly Nor is. So, if I'd be the best one.
Billy
Lost Billy.
Oh, there he's back. Billy, you back?
Yeah, sorry about that. It locked up on me.
Okay.
Okay, so what if so Eula, you're thinking you'd be able to ride the pig?
Yeah, I figure I could.
Maybe we could rig you up some kind of glove to where the poison wouldn't seep through onto your skin, but where all you have to do is touch them. So if they start getting in your way, you can just paralyze them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I couldn't find the glove, so I just grabbed this loincloth. I kind of accidentally wave it over near Billy when I say it.
What? What?
And so this goblin loincloth is going to kind of serve that purpose.
You better watch what you do with that thing, or I'll be serving your purpose all
I mean,
over the floor.
It was described as King of Hill. He will be probably pushing people.
Right. That's the part that I'm worried about.
Right, but if you could paralyze them, then it won't matter. All you have to do is be able to touch them with the cloth.
Yep.
Probably limited uses.
I mean, anybody could use the cloth.
Cloth could dry out.
If someone else would be better.
Well, that's why I was asking if you think you're probably going to be the better at riding the pig. Because that's ultimately what we got to figure out is the better rider.
I mean, I think I'd probably be pretty good at that. But the pushing part, not so much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important that we understand if there's going to be any kind of limitations and whatnot in our ability to compete. Because, I mean, if we're not just are we allowed to kill them or anything like that kind of thing, but, are they going to prevent us from using magic or anything like that?
I mean,
You will find out in the morning.
you will find out in the morning.
Right. I'm just trying to do as much planning as we can now. As I could potentially hex some of them to make it more difficult for them to ride the pig.
We should have brought some bad shellfish with us from the front end and gotten them all sick at dinner.
Yeah, I thought of that, especially. I don't know if you guys noticed, there was one giving us the stink eye.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd realized that the ones with the jerkins were going to be our competition, then before we were headed here, then I certainly might have tried to go ahead and do something about them tonight.
Well, coulda, woulda. We didn't. Now we're just got to deal with what we got. So, Tiny, are you gonna have any problems trying to be the one to attempt to eat the dogs?
Dog tasty.
Okay, so we got Tiny gonna attempt the dogs. You'll try to ride the pig. And Peridot's gonna try and get the rats, and hopefully there's not too big of a curveball thrown in with getting the body. And I'll take care of that one if it's not anything ridiculous.
Okay. So you guys have, sitting there discussing for a little bit, and after a while, you eventually can start hearing some metal clanking coming, up, up the way, and you eventually see the king standing in front of the door, and
Hello, Your Grace.
Hail, well met.
so you guys can immediately tell, everybody can tell that he is does not seem to be in a super happy mood. And so he's kind of standing there with his arms crossed. And he's like, I have given my word that you all will not be harmed tonight. But it would appear that you all have uncovered pieces of the goblin plan. It has gotten back to me that you have taken a jar of petrifying juice, of ghoul petrifying juice.
I know nothing of a jar of petrifying juice.
That would be a deception. He says, okay, so he might believe you, and he's like, he says, it was your party that was in the ghoul cave. The juice has gone missing, and this word cannot get out.
I'll say, well, there were some guards that came down to kill some goblins before we got there. Wonder if they might have taken it.
He's he's like, he hears you, but he's like definitely looking around the room, and he's like, and what of you all? You all know nothing of this?
No.
What?
Deception.
Sorry, guys. I tried to do it for you.
That macro didn't exactly work right, but all right.
So which one do I take? The 15, 2, or 13?
You always take the first one. The reason I have 3 is because I might have to.
Okay.
So generally, it's going to be the first one unless it's advantage or disadvantage. The third one only comes into play if there's been a 1 reroll.
Okay, got you. So he's like, you there, halfling. You're halfling, right, Billy? I was confused.
Oh, no, I'm a gnome.
You're a gnome, that's right. He's like, you
Yeah.
there, gnome.
Yeah.
He says, tell me, what do you know?
Actually, I'm not sure I do know.
No, you all would know. Like you.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure because they were like pouring out the honey, or everybody was eating the honey and putting it in the honey jar. And
Yeah, are you talking about some ghoul sauce that you use for?
yes, ghoul sauce that you so call it.
Oh.
You all found it in the Goblin Cave, right?
No, I don't know.
It's like
I don't.
it's like I know you're lying.
Well, I mean, I don't really. I mean, shit. I don't really know. I don't have any. I mean, you can check me if you want. I don't have anything like that.
So none of you have anything like that?
I mean, I don't know anyone here who has it.
He says,
Wow, JJ, you really did want to kill Corey this session, didn't you?
well, Corey,
The ghoul that we had did kind of slobber onto a cloth that I have here. It's kind of a good luck charm, but it's not a jar. And I hold up the loincloth. But I mean, it's got some ghoul stuff on it.
I'll follow that up with saying, yeah, Garbash, who's the ghoul that I am currently training and have brought you all for your super secret plan, he was telling us about, his poison and how it works, and gave us some samples of it. But I mean, that's about as much as we know about ghoul juice.
so you can tell that he's sitting there pondering, and he is he's like the risk is too great. I will give you choices. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Well, sir, I think, Your Grace, I would think the easiest way would be that if we pass the goblin friends, then there wouldn't be any problem, even if we did know about.
I mean, that's part of the reason why we were wanting to take the trial, is so that we could help with the super secret goblin plan.
He says, yes, he says, so you do know the secret goblin plan.
We don't know what the plan is. Your subjects were very tight-lipped about what it was, but yes, we know that there is one.
Very well. So you do leave me no choice. He says, you can still yet be friends of the goblins by winning their respect to the goblin trials. But regardless, and if you do pass, the secret of the goblin plan will be passed to you. But the risk is too great. So he like motions for this like guy to come over, and he looking like this. Where'd he go? Alright, so he looking like this. So he has like a staff and like old, he's like a short, like Yoda looking dude. And he has like a staff and stuff. And he says, do not be afraid. This this spell, all it does is it binds your words. If you ever speak of the goblin plan, you will fall death. You will feel death immediately. And so,
if we speak it to anybody who doesn't already know it,
yes, magic is smart, of course. So yeah,
just wanted to make sure that we learned the plan. And I'm like, oh hey, Flowers. So about the plan, then we both die because we talked about the plan.
Yes, and he says, so he's like starts casting some stuff, and like some magic stuff happens, and he says, this spell will not in any way prevent you from talking of the plan. It will only kill you if you do speak of the plan to someone who has not been told the plan by this, magic hierarchy of how word gets disseminated.
I understand. If we speak the plan, then we die.
Very well. And so then the Frog comes back and he's like, that you do know that there is a secret goblin plan. This does mean that the consequences for failing to win the goblin's respect is more dire.
So
and with that, he turns and walks away.
Wait. I mean, we've been geassed here not to say it. Can we know what the goblin plan is now? I mean,
no, you have to win the goblin respect first. He tells you that.
Holy crap! We can't even talk about the thing we don't know.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So they leave.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna turn to everybody and be like, the express words of the spell were that we were not able to speak of the plan. He didn't say anything about writing it down.
I heard that.
That's kind of like a little bit off topic. Sarah always says when she listens to audiobooks that she's like reading these books. And I'm like, no, you're listening to the books. Like,
I do
no,
the
I'm
same thing. I
them.
tell people I read this certain book when it's totally I listen to the audiobook, but
Martin is not literate. He just listens.
So all right. If you guys can yell for the guard if you need anything, or the rest of the night passes without.
I am going to try to yell out once just to see if the guard would be able to answer any of our questions about the trial that we have.
Okay.
If he doesn't know, then he doesn't know. But
Nope. So you yell out, and a goblin guard shows up in front of you.
okay, I'll say, excuse me, do you happen to know anything about the trials that we shall face tomorrow?
He says it depends. It could be any number of trials.
Well, we have more of general questions, not of any of the specific trials.
Okay.
we were told that we would be facing off against a few other contestants in the trials. Do you know if there are any regulations on how, and during the competition of actions that we may take?
He says, usually in the goblin trials, it is pretty free-for-all. It is pretty anything goes. They will strip you of weapons or anything that they would deem to be giving an advantage in the trial. But once in the trial, it is pretty much anything goes.
So they could. So these other contestants could try to kill us.
Yes.
How do they feel about magical things?
Usually, I mean, the presiders over the goblin trials will usually not stop you, but it will win you no favor with the goblin crowd. For most of the goblin fighters have been taking their weapons, but you cannot take one's magic. So it is usually seen as foul play and will not earn you as much respect if you win with magic. But there are very, very, very few goblins that have magic, and is usually not much of an issue.
Shit.
He has magic. He just got bigger.
What other questions?
Were there any other questions we had?
See, I seem to have soiled my loincloth. By any chance, could someone get me another?
Yes, I will go fetch you some clothes. All right.
If you have a glove, that'd be great. I mean, a pair of gloves.
All right. So he goes and fetches some pair of old busted up gloves and like some old skirt. That's like a child skirt. And gives it to you.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have, unless anybody else have anything.
Very well.
Alright, so no magic kind of presents a problem, guys, because I don't really know much of anything that's not magic. And
he didn't say no magic. He just said that the crowd would frown upon it.
Well, the king kind of made it clear that we need to win the crowd.
So there's magic, and then there's magic.
Yeah, I figure I could probably still hex them, but outside that, everything else I have is very destructive.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you won't be, it sounds like competing in any of the trials, except for possibly killing someone, and I can't imagine that they would have no weapons for that, so that may not be a problem. It doesn't seem like your magic will be an issue.
I was going to try to hex people, though. That
one might work.
Yeah, that one they can't pick up on, but still.
So, JJ, I'm going to now look at the loincloth that I showed to the king.
Okay.
That has stuff on it. And see how much I think could, if I wipe it on a glove, whether I think that's going to work. If it's seeped into the cloth, if there's still some on the surface.
I mean, let's see. There's no use proficiency in poisons or anything, is there?
There is a poisoner's kit.
Poisoner's kit, but that's probably not really needed. I mean, you've already kind of made it. I mean,
I think the
you
kit
would. So just rubbing the glove with it probably wouldn't transfer a whole lot. You'd figure that you'd need kind of a way to wring some of it out.
Mm-hmm.
Which you'd have to figure out a way, but you have some smart people that can figure out some pretty easy ways. Like, you know, you could grab 2 boards and squeeze it, or, you know.
Or just put the gloves on and squeeze the cloth as hard as you can. Then all of a sudden now your hands are wet with poison.
Yeah, see, that's why Lorcan has the intelligence.
Actually, I'm a little bit above that.
That's right. You're charisma caster.
I'm charisma. I just got a 12 in intelligence. That'd be Durka that would be making that.
Or Peridot. Peridot's
pretty smart.
I don't believe this.
Yeah, so my intent, JJ, is that I guess tomorrow before we're right when we're about to leave, I'm gonna, you know, put the gloves on. I'll, you know, try to squeeze it out onto one of the gloves. You know, squeezing that one, maybe like grabbing the other hand. I just want to get it onto one glove and not the other. I'll leave that loincloth behind. The new one that the guy got me, which I assume is not new, I assume it's probably still used. That one I'll tuck into my belt pouch.
Okay.
So that, you know, since the king knows about the loincloth, if the king, you know, wants to make sure that I don't keep that with me, then I can definitely leave that behind.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, anything else you guys want to do before tomorrow?
Sleep.
Okay. You guys are able to go to sleep peacefully. You know, it is you know, pretty restful. You know, it's quiet in this side of the cave and not much is happening. In the morning, so you guys, you know, now have a full long rest, so you guys can spend hit dice if you need, or I don't know if anybody has.
Well, you get your hit die, or half your hit die back.
Yeah.
You lose.
But you get fully healed.
So are you low on hit points?
Yes, I was.
Let's see. I'll give you control of.
I can do it from my character sheet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the next morning, you guys are awoken and by the guy who took you here, and he like takes you back to the hall for like a breakfast. And you know, it's like even more packed. So somehow over the night, you know, more goblins have came. There's a breakfast. You know, all the same people are still there. The king's still up on his, you know, throne, and then there's the goblin, you know, there with all like macking on all the ladies. And he's like over here, like, "What's up with shouties?"
They even had breakfast. What a player.
Okay, and so you guys sit back down, same table. I know lots to eat, lots of good food.
Say Tiny don't eat much.
Tiny doesn't eat much. All right, good. All right, so then the king addresses, and he's like, he like comes out here, and he like holds his hands up, and everybody gets really quiet, and he says, "And today starts the, by these shady records, the 76th, you know, Goblin Warrior Trials, or he said Goblin Warrior Trials. Many of you goblins and our esteemed guests over here will be competing for status in the goblin clan. This many things comes with this status, you know, and he goes to this list of like cool stuff that you get, and you know, it's mostly about like, you know, winning the respect of the goblins, and you know, he goes through very charismatically a speech about how, you know, like that order is needed, and you know, and then that will like, you know, create hierarchy and structure, and that is what the goblins have needed. And, you know, there's direct correlation to structure. You know, kind of like a very, you can tell that he is using this opportunity to preach structure and like discipline and order to the goblin people.
Does he ever say, "Can you dig it"?
No, he doesn't.
That would be wrong.
So yeah, and then he says, "My esteemed guests over here, and you know, it is customary that the people who are the most foreign get to choose the first trial. So make your choice.
Do we not learn of the fourth trial first?
Says the fourth trial, if you also make it through the first three, will be of your whole group.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll look around and say, I'm eager to ride Squiggly Nor.
Very well, Squiggly Nor it is. And everybody's like, whoa! They're like cheering and crazy, and yeah, everybody starts filing out, pretty much through one. And everybody's like chanting, like Squiggly, Squiggly, Squiggly. And so you guys are eventually led by the same guy to this place. And you see a pit that has, it's surrounded by a whole bunch of goblins. And you see a pit with, like, what you all know to be like a boar, like a wild boar. And it's like running around in there, like, like really angry. It's clearly, it's like not a tame boar, and it has like tusks, and it's like, going up to the ledge and like trying to like bite people and stuff. And like, that's weird, And then like the goblins are like, whoa, run away, and it like comes around, and everybody's like cheering, Squiggly, Squiggly, Squiggly. All right, and then so the king comes out here, and he stands on this. He says, "The first trial, the riding of Squiggly Nor." And he says, Squiggly Nor has been a legend amongst goblins from all over the world. It was at first it was by this goblin tribe of so and so, that one goblin group that was in the one-shot campaign, and it was us who captured it 5 years ago for the glory of our goblin clan. It is a treasured monument and a great challenge to ride the Squiggly Nor. Alright, so he's like, he looks at you, and he looks at Eula, I think it was, that you said you were going to ride Squiggly Nor. He's like, when I give the word go. Alright, so when he says when I give the word go, one person like jumps in and starts like running around Squiggly Nor, and Squiggly Nor like, you can like fights him and like bites him and is like, like like a rag doll, and the guy like gets thrown over here and is like like lost an arm and is like like crawling away. And then he gets over here and this guy like kicks him back in. He just like lays there. So yeah, that's Squiggly Nor, and he has like an arm in his mouth. And he says, when I say go, all contestants will jump in the pit. The first person to ride Squiggly Nor for 30 seconds wins.
Clear.
Yes, you, tall sir. What is your question?
All four of us jump in pit?
No, only people who have been designated contestants in the contest of Squiggly Nor. And that would be from your tribe. He calls you a tribe. Or your, that would be Eula there. The one with the dirty face.
Okay, so Joe, I'm going to lean over to you and say, I can potentially hex a contestant or Nor himself. Do you have a preference?
If you hex Squiggly Nor, that'll make it easier for everyone. You get one of the contestants.
Not if you kill them all first.
Oh yeah.
I'll,
So speaking of that, they did strip you when you all were starting the contestants. Like at breakfast, they would have like asked for all your weapons and like patted you down. So if you were going to, you would have a chance to hide something if you wanted, but you would have to actively hide it. So
I
you
don't
make a
carry
choice now.
weapons.
Did they attempt to take my glove?
I know. They would not take any clothing. Okay.
All right, so I will hold the hex. How about you give me a signal if there's somebody you want hexed?
I'll go ahead and look around and see if I see that one guy.
Okay, yeah, you can see that there's, you know, like 5 guys in vests that are like standing around that have been kind of like positioned. There's like a little flag by them, and they're all wearing vests.
Can I make out which one is the one?
It's this one right here.
Okay. So I'll kind of subtly point over to that one. If he jumps in the ring, definitely go for him.
Okay. All right. So he says, "All contestants, on your mark, consent, go." Okay. So a whole bunch of guys are going to jump in. All right. So Squiggly Nor is clearly upset, running around and fight. You know, just like. Rawr! So I'm just gonna try and do this cinematically. So this is with me trying to do it cinematically instead of in turns. So decide if we like kind of like this or not, or if we like guys like it more structured. So you can tell that all of the goblins pretty much just like rush Squiggly Nor. And so they're like, you know, all get over here and
over there too. By the way, Martin, the one that I indicated did jump in.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this would be staring guy because you didn't ask for a name.
So you wanted him at any point in time, Joe, or you just wanted him when you gave the mark?
I said if he jumped in, then he was definitely the one that I wanted to be hexed.
Okay. Then I will do that.
So JJ, you know, my first thought, since I am fairly fast,
Okay.
that one thing I might do if I can get in front of like maybe this guy right here,
Okay.
if I can, as we're running over there, if I can kind of get Squiggly Nor's attention and actually draw him to come, you know, at us, and then like dodge out of the way so he like takes out that other one, then that would be a cool plan.
Okay. So Squiggly Nor has a lot of you know, environmental stimulation from, you know, a whole bunch of people trying to get him. So roll a perform check to try to get his attention. You know, you're like, I'm, you know, the person you want to attack, blah, blah, blah.
So JJ, I chose Dex as the ability that
Okay.
I'm disadvantaging him at.
Performance, there it is.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So you wanted to be over here and trying to get him like running the line and charge, like attack you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that
if
when I
that's
dodge out of the way, the guy behind me will get hit.
oh, I get it. Okay. So yeah, Squiggly Nor like does the drawing his feet, and he does kind of like a charging thing. So you can roll a Dex save to not get hit.
Okay. Dex save. Rough.
All right, hold on. All right, so
God, that was a 2. It was 1 away from my reroll.
that's rough. All right, sorry. I get through the goblin. They have goblins that have pretty good Dex, but he has disadvantage on Dex, Martin.
Not the guy that Joe's trying to get hit, but the
Okay.
staring guy.
Okay. What? Oh, I did what does a plus like erase it? That's weird. So he got a 14. So both of you guys get hit with the charge, and both of you are knocked 5 feet back and are prone and take 6 damage. Ooh, that's rough. Okay. So then these other guys move over, run up to Squiggly Nor behind Squiggly Nord, and are like, like punching each other, and Squiggly Nord's like rearing up and stuff, and they're like trying to climb on Squiggly Nord. You can see like one guy gets up, but kind of gets pulled back down.
Okay. Next time I get a chance to act, I'm definitely going to get up. I want to try to get over in this melee that's going on, where I can discreetly grab or slap or whatever at one of the goblins, because they're all grabbing each other anyway, with the poisoned glove.
All right. So hold on 1 second, Joe. Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
That's no problem. All right. So say that again. Sorry.
Yeah. Next time I get a chance to act, I will definitely stand up.
Yeah. You can. He's kind of freeform, so
Yeah. Try to get over here in the melee area. I won't go for the staring guy because I'm counting on him already being worse off. And since everybody's kind of grabbing and punching and everything, I want to get a slap or a grab in on this guy here with the poisoned glove.
okay.
Trying to aim for the bear skin.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
like-
So it would be pretty easy to get him to to get a slap in on him.
Mhm.
And on the skin, because he's not focused on you at all. He's like focused on people, King of the Mountain style. You're at his back, so he's not like really worried about it. Okay, so you're able to touch his skin, and he say okay. So you can tell that he's like he's like climbing and stuff, and he like really starts to like freeze up.
Use him as a step ladder, Joe.
Cool.
And,
Uh,
all right. And so this guy's getting up, and somebody jumps on Squiggly Nor, and Squiggly Nor takes off and charges through this guy again. All right, but he sweetly dodges out of the way over here. And staring guy turns around and looks at you and sees the guy and he's you can tell that he's got his dukes up ready to punch you.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, if I have a chance to step back, I will, but I assume he's just going to punch me.
No, I mean you can. He's not you can. So he's more kind of defensive. You can tell he's kind of a defensive style.
Then I am just going to step up here and kind of run over here along the wall.
Okay. So these two guys run over here. This guy who dodged out of the way runs over here. But you can tell that the staring guy is watching you before he's running away. He's not gonna put his back to you.
Right.
Kind
Cool.
of thing. And so these three guys and Squiggly Nor are kind of fighting. Eventually one person actually gets up on Squiggly Nor, and Squiggly Nor's bucking.
Okay. I'll try to do the same trick on this guy. I think staring guy's already got my number on this, so I don't even care if he sees.
Okay. So you get up to the back of this guy, and staring guy is going to charge you and push you down, try to push you away.
Okay.
And what is your? Okay, so you are able to tell that he checks that guy when he so he's just gonna be able to do it, pushes you and knocks you back one space. You can tell after he does that he is checking. He's checking this guy. You can tell he's seeing if this guy is okay. He is protecting that guy.
Gotcha.
He's not there to win. He's running interference. He's doing what we wanted to do.
So yeah, and staring guy then will come over here and like, you know, pulls this guy off, and then it's back to kind of like a free for all on Squiggly Nor.
Okay.
And staring guy does not like turn his back to you, even though he's like, you know.
All right, then I'm gonna try to step up here, even though it's probably dangerous for some Squiggly Nord.
Okay.
And I'm trying to make it look like I'm running up to get on Squiggly Nord, so that the staring guy hopefully won't do much. In doing that, I want to slap the protected guy.
Okay. Roll a sleight of hand check.
Nice.
Okay. So let's see. Okay. So, I mean, you definitely hit the guy. And so the guy's like climbing up, and he gets, you can tell that he's like freezing up, and like Squiggly Nor like bucks and like throws him back, and then he's like on the wall of the pit, like you know, just like kind of like frozen.
Yeah.
So JJ, while all this is going on, I want to be kind of walking around like areas of the pit and just kind of like whispering things to the goblins and be like, man, that halfling's not half bad. Like, wow, did you see this kind of stuff she's doing? Like trying to get them riled up to be like cheering for her.
Okay, yeah, you definitely like, you know, you're over in one area, and then yeah, you get like, you know, 20 goblins be like, you love. Okay. So Squiggly Nord is gonna run through these guys, knocks the scaring guy down on the ground. Well, the staring guy knocks the staring guy on the ground. He takes some damage, and this guy runs through. So Squiggly Nord's like over here.
I'm gonna try to come over here, and if I can do the same thing, like try to lead Squiggly Nord to run at us. But then I'm gonna try to dodge out of the way, but not like
Okay.
super far. I want to like try to grab on as it goes by, not with the poison glove. With my
Okay, all right. So roll your perform check to get Squiggly Nord to attack you.
better.
Okay. So yeah, 1 second.
Is somebody peeling a carrot?
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, Squiggly Nord runs over, clearly knocks the petrified guy out of the way. Like he's prone now, like stuck petrified, but like his arms like broken, but petrified now. The staring guy is going to make a save. Okay, so he is able to dodge out of the way. So now, Joe, make an athletics check to try to get up on top of Squiggly Nord as he runs by.
Oh, is it strength?
Athletics, yeah. To like grab on and like pull yourself up as he runs by. Probably athletics more than well, probably be a combination, but I think that'd be. All right.
Yeah, athletics makes sense for that.
All right, so you're pretty lucky. You're able to like grab a piece of his mane because he's pretty. So John, when you start doing that, A lot of the goblins around you start like cheering, yeah, yeah, and the staring guy like runs over to you and is like trying to climb out of the pit to like get at you.
Nice.
And so Joe is on Squiggly Nord, and Squiggly Nord is like, bucking around over here. And these guys run over to you. Roll. You can either roll an athletics or a. So you can roll an athletics, handle animal, or an acrobatics to try to stay on Squiggly Nor as these guys like try to like pull you off.
Acrobatics it is.
Ah!
Right, reroll.
Oh,
That was a natural one.
That's right. That's right.
Go, halfling, go!
All right. So we take the 10.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So yeah, you're able to fend these guys off. They're pretty bad. These are what you would believe to be the noobs. Probably the least likely to. So now, like, you're able to fend off the guys, but roll a handle animal to not get bucked off. All right. Sweet. So you stayed on Squiggly Nord. So you've been on there for about 15 seconds. Squiggly Nord comes over here. John's still pissing on this guy. The staring guy. Let's see if he can like actually climb out.
I'm gonna continue to rile up the crowd. I'm like, "Did you see that guy pissing on him?" Woo!
All right. So John, the staring guy gets out and like tries to like he like attacks you with like a punch.
I'm gonna try to get the crowd to chant piss face.
Yeah, so Martin's getting the crowd to chant piss face. Does a 19 hit you?
Yeah.
All right, you take 1 damage from a punch.
His face.
Piss face, piss face, piss face, piss face. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So
All right. I will roll. Or I'm going to knock him on his ass. And
Okay.
Then resume urinating on him.
okay.
That's my plan.
All right. So roll. All right. Okay.
That was a shit roll.
Nah, that's fine. He's pretty sucky. And so yeah, you're like pissing, and he comes up, climbs up, and actually like punches you, and you're like you don't stop pissing, and you just like look over at him and like boot him. You like you give him the boot, and he like falls down back into the pit. And then everybody's like piss face, piss face, piss face, piss face.
I'm winning the crowd, guys.
Alright, so well, Squiggly Nord. Whoops, that's not what I do. There we go. Alright, so Squiggly Nord sees these two guys over here and like charges both of them.
Hold on, Joe.
Alright, so both of them get hit and get knocked out of the way. But you have to roll a handle animal, Joe, to be able to stay on.
Okay. I don't know exactly how this would work because it kind of would make me want to get bucked off in a way. I don't know if I can do this with the glorious Hadouken. It would be great if I could get bucked off like up in the air, but land back on Squiggly Nord.
So,
Like to try to win the crowd, you know?
Yeah. So no, you could. So like with a glorious Hadouken, if you wanted to, you could probably like when he was when he was running under here, you probably could like jump over this and land back on him.
Perfect.
So also, well, I guess this is super meta. But your glorious Hadoukens are once per level, and you guys are probably going to level. So, So yeah, John, you used your glorious Hadouken to kick that guy off, and it looked really awesome. And Martin used his glorious Hadouken to be like, piss face, piss face, piss face. Not really. Like you can still use them for other things if you want, but I'll make stuff up if you don't use them when you're getting ready to level. But yeah, so roll your glorious Hadouken. Wait, I can't remember if we decided, but go ahead and roll your glorious Hadouken. Even if you roll shit, you're still gonna get something good. But if you roll like a 20, it's gonna be like, you know, you're like shooting like, you know, to everybody when you're doing it.
Okay, so this is just 1d20?
Yeah. Alright, 10. So yeah, you're able to, when you're running through there, you're able to like stand up and like jump over it, and you plan it just right, and you like land back on, and everybody's like, yeah, and it like happens right as like the two guys like get knocked back, and so the crowd's just like, yeah, yeah.
Is it cool if I use my my illusion thing to create like, I don't know, some sort of cool trumpet music as he goes over?
Yeah.
That's good there. Okay.
Yeah, sure, awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, so everybody just like crazy cheers, and you come over here, and you've been on Squiggly Nord, and like Squiggly like Nord like, you know, rears up as like the time horn for the event is like blown, and so you like know that you have won, but Squiggly Nord is clearly doesn't care that the thing is over, so you either try to stay on Squiggly Nord or
Try to beat the record, Joe.
jump
Hold on.
jump off Squiggly Nord.
I'm going to stay on for the moment.
Okay, so go ahead and roll.
Steer him after staring guy.
I was thinking about that.
roll a handle animal check.
Okay. And if I do, like, my first priority is to stay on, but
Right.
if I do get a really good roll, if it gives me the option to steer it at the
Okay.
steering guy, I would love for him to take out steering guy.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. You actually are probably gonna get bucked off at this point.
Righto.
So you get like bucked off. You're probably over there. And so Squiggly Nord, having felt that you just got bucked off, is going to is going to turn around and he's like, you know, red in the eyes and angry. He's like, oh.
Uh-oh.
Run, Joe.
So
I
yeah.
am actually. How? Since I am pretty fast, do I think that I'm faster than Squealy Nord?
So you normally you feel that like a bull and a matador kind of thing, that if you used like, you know, angles and stuff that you could get away from him, but Squiggly Nor's charge is like, you know, very long and fast.
Okay, gotcha. Then in that case, I will run toward the wall, and then like I'm gonna try to dodge so that Squealy Nord hits the wall.
Okay. All right. So the Squiggly Nord is going to charge the wall and roll a dex save.
Did I join just in time to see Joe die?
No. All right. So yeah, you dodge out of the way.
Corey, I already won the trial. The problem is Squealy Nord doesn't care.
Okay. So yeah, Squiggly Nord is going to just pound his head into the wall and like, you know, get dazed and like knock over and fall. And
All right. I will use that opportunity to climb up the wall, possibly using Squealy Nord to get there.
okay, yeah, you'd be able to get out of the pit.
All right, sweet. And I'll kind of like, you know, hold my arms up and, you know, try to like keep
Yeah,
track.
and everybody's chanting like you love, and some people over here are chanting piss face, piss face, piss face.
Let's hear it for Piss Face!
All right, so yeah, you notice that. So everybody can notice. Most of the crowd doesn't notice, so they're like cheering and drunk, and you know, fights are breaking out all over just for whatever reason. But probably you all, knowing Joe's plan to petrify people, that the people are still like petrified, and it seems to be like, you know, a lot longer than like what you would think would be a normal for like some kind of poison. So,
Oh.
so other goblins come over and like help like the other goblins like get out of the pit. Squiggly Nor eventually wakes up and like runs around. All right, so Squiggly Nor is in here running around. The Goblin King, or the King, I call him, not the Goblin King, comes over and he's like, you know, glorious show by Eula. She has shown that she has earned the respect of, you know, of our goblin kind. Everybody hear it for Eula. You know, and everybody's like, Eula, Eula, Eula. Alright. So, and the Goblin King's like, and the next trial shall be, and he like opens an envelope, the dog eating contest.
Good, I'm hungry.
Good thing you just emptied everything you had, Ramos.
Yeah. Yep. Alright. So, you guys, everyone, you know, is escorted back to the dining hall here. It has been set up so that, you know, this... Actually, let me remove these guys here. Whoops, I did not mean to do that.
The whole room just shifted.
Yeah. So this table right here, like these tables right here on the bottom, these 3 tables have like just, you know, big huge plates, but there's like, you know, set numbers of like plates that have like a certain like, you know, piece of like chunk of like dog food, or like not dog food, like dog, like some kind of weird uncooked meat on it and stuff, and some like pretty gross. And so, but everybody like files into the room, but nobody comes down here. Everybody goes to like the outer side. It's kind of like balcony seating, and the king will stand up here and get ready to give his speech. But that's probably where we'll stop so that we can not divide up the contest.
Cool.
Seems like one of the easier ones. You just make it re-rolled, right?
We shall see.
So, like, head count wise, how many goblins are down here?
At this point, you probably see about 300.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, not like a tiny itty bitty amount of goblins.
It's gonna make my killing hand real tired.
Corey, the most important thing that you missed is Ramos pissing on a goblin's face.
Yeah, I've read up. I was looking up at the scrolling, and I read up on that stuff. It looks
He was
interesting.
paralyzed, though.
Yeah, he was petrified.
Nice.
And then the staring guy who's been like giving us the like eyeball and the whole time decided he's gonna climb up there and dick punch John, and John just kicked him back in the pit, pissed on him.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's pretty good. All right, good work, good work. Well, looks like the room's down still. There we go. All right, so yeah, same time, same bat channel next week.